Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, what it is, what it do. Happy Friday, wherever you may be. Mitch with the first comment. What up, buddy? What's up, Bob? Turn on the stream, turn on the little starting soon preview scene thing or whatever, looked up and you were already commenting, and I was like, what the fuck? How is that possible? But welcome, Hisoka. I'm doing well. How are you doing? Hasen. Hello, joining for the first time. Welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoy yourself while you are here. Welcome to the Knowledge Syndicate. Good night for me. Oh yeah, I mean it's only 3:40 here. We're getting there. I could go for a nap, I will say that. Ooh, I need to make this bigger actually. Hold please. Nope, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. Whatever. That's gonna bug me, but it's all good. What's up, Bob? InstaClick. Damn new setup. Yeah, I was just bored. I have today off, so I actually went and got my car all taken care of, doing the top up on everything, and took the little one out to brunch. Came back home and I was like, you know what? It's been a minute since I've worked on some YouTube and stream elements and stuff like that. And I used to do it quite a bit back in the day. I think I dabbled in it a little bit a few months ago while I was in between, or earlier in the year, maybe end of last year when I was in between contracts and stuff. But yeah, I never really took the chance to kind of expand on it, especially after we did the Knowledge Syndicate stuff and built out that YouTube channel and everything. So I was like, you know what, I got an afternoon. Let's go on ahead and play around with it for a bit. What's up, Stitch? How's it going? How much did you get from the DICE event, like workshop-wise stuff? My workshop was pretty empty, I'm not gonna lie. So I got a pretty decent amount. I haven't gotten any, like, gold dice. I think I maybe got the 500 gold and, like, the 1,000 gold dice pack. But I got quite a bit from the DICE event, I'm not gonna lie. Actually, I could come in here and claim more. You can see we got people in here that are dropping 100 dice, 30 dice, like Gumo and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, we've been blessed by quite a lot of dice in IWRI, that's for sure. 42 minutes past 10 here at night. Oh, where are you at, Mitch, by the way? Didn't mean to ask. I think once upon a time I asked, but with incredible luck, keep going. I'm not really worried about using the gold dice this time around. I'm just going to be pretty much saving everything for infantry TC, so any extra gold and stuff I have will probably go towards that. I did recently acquire a new refinery infantry piece. So I previously was using this right here, which is a bit stronger, 4% damage reduction, almost 4% damage. Had pretty good basic attributes, but I ended up switching over to a damage reduction, double defense, skill damage reduction piece. Our team is kind of playing, and we're kind of growing the alliance in a direction where we're swarming a lot of rallies, we're swarming refillers and all that kind of stuff, so our play style is kind of getting more aggressive on the field and such. So I'm kind of just taking the full protection mode approach, I guess is the best way to put it. James Carter. What up, buddy? Newcastle. Okay, that's pretty cool. I've seen pictures of Newcastle. Never been to that part of the world. Always have wanted to. I have a lot of family origins from Europe and that side of the world. On my dad's side, so it's definitely something I want to go check out, but have not made my way there yet. Liz, I didn't realize you hosted this event as well. I do not host the event, unfortunately. We will be hosting the event. We're currently under the table advertising for it. It's kind of more like interested parties have kind of come to us, and we're kind of making a thing out of it. When we do host it, it'll be a 6 dice event. So the requirements will kind of be up there, but that's mostly been the request of players that have come to us. They said that they want more than 4, but they don't want to have to buy like 10 plus dice in some of these bigger alliances. So we landed on 6, and once we have the waiting list and the roster up near full, probably around 75%, we'll make a public announcement on it to fill the last 25%, and then we'll start hosting it from there. So, not hosting it yet. We're an IWRI, but we'll get there eventually. Mortar, that guy, the guy that's snarky. Yeah, I mean, he's from LLWW or whatever we played against last Island Raid. I don't know much about the guy. I know the experience that we had allying LLWW in their group, and it wasn't that great of an experience, so I can only go off of that, but I'm not using that as a reflection of his character or judging him as an individual or nothing like that at all. Just simply the alliance and how they went about things. And, yeah, I mean, here we are. What's up, Akil? How's it going? Hope you're doing well as well. Glad you got this playlist told you about long ago. Is this a playlist you sent me? Is that why it keeps popping up in my thing? I just type in non-copyright music and then this is just a playlist I keep clicking on, so wouldn't want to come here if I was you. It's not a good place. Oh, well, I just want to go to that part of the world anyways. I mean, I kind of want to tour all throughout Europe, the UK, and yeah, again, just that part of the world. Hit a bunch of different countries over there. I'm not saying you guys are right next to each other, but I eventually want to go to, like, Germany, Russia, Italy, France. I mean, just really that part of the world in general. Like, that part of the world is very different than the United States, right? So there's some similarities. There's a lot of differences, so... Click your numbers. The red ones? No, I'm going to leave it on my screen just so you can stare at them. Told you long ago about it, sent to the link and royalty and such good songs. Oh, okay, well then maybe that's why it keeps popping up in my recommended when I searched it up. Nonetheless, I appreciate you. Yeah, like I said, I type in like non-copyright stuff and it like pops up towards the top, and so it's probably the reason why it's up there is because you sent it and I've used it before, so. What's up? For dinner we will. A couple more hours. You still have the rest of your waffle to finish from brunch. Ambry, we only went to lunch like 3 hours ago. I'll get you some Wendy's or something or whatever. Oh, you already finished your waffle? You finished the whole thing? Yeah, see, you don't need Wendy's yet. I'll give you Wendy's in a couple hours. If you're hungry, you got some snacks, drink some water. I think you don't have your water or anything next to you, do you? Oh, you're probably dehydrated. Go get your water, baby. Hello, I recently started playing and I'm building my infantry boy-driven garrison. Would it make sense to put counter chips on my hammer pango and crypt chips on my crystal pango support? Yes, absolutely. If you are garrison focused, then counter is your best friend. Crit is your best friend across the board regardless, so maybe London or Manchester, but not any other place. Oh, well, take note of that for sure. I've kind of been told the same thing, actually, I won't lie. So, I mean, if anything, that makes sense. Germany is very different than the US. It's a great experience for myself. Yeah, one of the old companies that I used to work for about 8 years, we had 2 or 3 of our team members were based out of Germany, and it had like one of the main hubs for our technology side of things, and so yeah, I've always wanted to go to Germany. So my previous roommate and buddy that I joined the military with and grew up with and stuff, he was stationed in Germany for about 2.5 years. So yeah, a lot of interest and a lot of reasons to go there. I think it'd just be a really cool place to go visit. I've been to Italy and France, Greece and Spain. Oh wow, look at you, there you go. See, your content of the game is always amazing. Congrats. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Certainly appreciate the kind words and support. Look, the content, the channel, and everything is only here because of you guys, so it would not be here without your support. So pat yourselves on the back. It is here because of you. I also have a few new elements that I put into the stream. Like if you guys like hit the subscribe button on YouTube, like you follow the channel or whatever. If you subscribe on Twitch, I think if someone does like a super chat on YouTube, I don't know. I was building it all out in Stream Elements. It's been a minute since I've used Stream Elements, and the dashboard, the UI has definitely changed a lot since I used it years ago. Yep, mind you, I used to stream heavy back when I was like 18 years old. Haven't really done it much since then. Only the occasional one for Doomsday, and the dabbling I've done. But it was not, even with Doomsday, it was not nearly as serious as it was back in the day. So I have not dove headfirst into a lot of the content and the tools and the UI and all that stuff that they have since then. So that was kind of an afternoon project for myself. When you come visit, I will give you a camel. Like a cigarette, or like the animal? Because, I mean, it could be two very different things on two very different sides of the spectrum. What kind of camel are we talking about? I'll take either one. In an infantry commander's perspective, is Julia and Lind a threat still? Please explain. No, not necessarily. Julia used to be a threat back in the day because Thunder was pretty destructive to any rallies that were coming, just because there wasn't very many rally threats. You have to think about the state of the game at the time. Riders had Bella and Sven for rallying. Ranged had like Julia, and they were soon to get Bard, or were soon to build out their Bards to be a threat. Infantries had like Eddie and Adut, or Eddie and Robert, Eddie and Master Jin, that kind of a thing for rallies and stuff. It was just a very different time of the game. So the silence that Julia had was absolutely destructive. And they actually nerfed silence shortly after she came out. It used to be that you could overlap silence and just kind of stop someone from using their rage skill, but they made it to where you can still use your rage skill now. It's just that the silence lasts for like X amount of time, then it forces you to use your rage skill, then you actually have enough rage saved up to where you actually proc it a second time. So they changed the behavior of silence. It used to be a lot more destructive to garrisons and stuff, and now it's not so much. So I wouldn't say that, no, they're not necessarily the most, or like the biggest threats. Julia and Lin are still good in the field. Like the Julia silence can definitely help in the field for sure, because field fights are very short by nature. So anything that you can do to stop your opponent from getting that damage output or burst for a small few second window is still viable. It's not the most viable compared to other heroes, but it's still usable. And Lin just has a very balanced field kit, so she's still usable in the field as well. And hello. Thank you very much. No problem at all. Let me give a sub on Twitch and see. Sure, let me know when you do. I actually want to test it and see if I hear it on my end as well, or how that all works. I'll have items to transcend one skill, the 3 for Ethan, or first to Nova. What do you think? I would probably go first on Nova, but is the 3rd skill on Ethan the... What? The 3... What does that say? The 3-star for Ethan? Like, are you talking about like you could transcend 3 skills on Ethan or 1 on Nova? Can you expand on that a bit? Sorry, maybe I'm just kind of confusing myself. Next IR, do you have any room for me to come along? Possibly. It depends on if next IR we're doing mergers with PHX and or VIP, or if we're going to be doing our own thing again. If we're doing our own thing, I mean, we fucking dropped... We had every single person drop weight, and I think maybe only 1 or 2 people didn't in time, and we barely got out of Apex, like, by a pubic hair worth of might. Like, we barely made it out, so... but if we do a merger, then yeah, like, there's... Oh, it worked! It worked! That's a follower on Twitch. What's up? It worked. It worked. We got it to work. Thank you for the follow on Twitch, by the way. She Venom. Thank you for the follow. Let's see. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So if we do the merger, then yeah, it won't necessarily matter, because odds are we'll probably get Apex anyways. So, by all means. Hi, Z. What is that icon on the building on the top left of the radar station? I've never seen it. Top left of the radar station? What building is the radar station again? What? This one? Oh, this is just parts. I have parts that I need to build out. I have parts that are waiting to get built, but I'm waiting until Infantry TC to do it. I'll send you the heroes in game. Sure, no problem. Liz, I have full crit and OC on my bull. I have been using my Rhino's assist, but I'm trying to get my crab leveled up and maxed out combo chips. Well, I don't see any problem with either one of those. I think that you're going to run into more damage mitigation blocking your damage output from the crit side of things, and less damage mitigation from the combo side. But also a big part of that depends on the G bracket you're playing in. If on average you're playing like mid to low elite or even fearless, you're going to run into less damage mitigation period across the board. So crit would be easier to obtain. And crit is easier to obtain, combo gets less mitigated. But again, a big factor of that is how well built out your opponents are, and a lot of that's going to depend on the G bracket you play in. Did my comment come through? It says message redacted. Oh, that message was redacted. Okay, whoops. On the equipment workshop? Yeah, I think like if I click on that icon, it just tells me that I have parts to upgrade. So I have like refinements that are ready and parts that are ready. I think that's all it's telling me, but as much like I have a bunch of parts to be able to upgrade. I should be able to get 5 parts to white out of the 7 that aren't. I should be able to get 5 of them to white next infantry TC, and then I'll still need some high polymers to get the last 2 riders to white, but I should be able to do 5 white, 1 red. And then I'll just have the gold to white and the red to white left for the 2nd infantry TC or however. My equipment icon looks like an Uzi. Yeah, I mean, I've got an MP5 for an equipment piece as well, but it's just that, I think it's just the icon that tells me I have something waiting. If yours that tells you that something is waiting is different, that's kind of cool. Everyone says the red rhino is bad. It's not necessarily bad, it's just that it's very easy to obtain, and that can be a good thing and that can be a bad thing. It can be a bad thing in a sense that it's not the most standout-ish beast to use, because since it's so easy to obtain, by nature and by default it's not going to be the strongest beast, right? They're not going to make something that's so easy to obtain overpower other beasts that are far harder to obtain or locked behind a paywall or whatever it may be, right? So by standards of like core performance, the Rhino isn't going to perform nearly as well. However, the majority and the vast majority of performance by a beast isn't by the beast itself, but it's by the chips that support it. You could take a Rhino that is built out with full OCs and compare that to a Chiron that has purple chips, and the Rhino will outperform it, right? So a lot of it just depends on the actual chips that you're able to support it with. If you can give a Rhino an all gold crit set, you're cooking, right? But if you can give a General Crab an all combo set, you're cooking, but you're cooking more because there's less crit damage mitigation, or sorry, there's less combo damage mitigation than there is crit damage mitigation currently by players. Poor Lilith. I actually am streaming. Alliance invitations, you rather strange offering off friendships in exchange for gifts as a result of taking a prudent decision to keep a low profile and stay out of the chats. Unfortunately, I read this while streaming. Oops. But yeah, no worries. Hello, can you give me some advice for my hero combos and beast combinations? My chips are a bit weird. I can send you arena port if that's okay with you. Yeah, that's fine by all means. I run Fearless. I believe my last AR was G87. We only kept a few decent players and the rest are T4, T5, so we stay in easy matchmaking as much as possible. Then yeah, your Rhino would be totally fine. You're not looking to take your Rhino and go compete against a Pluto support on average, or a Chiron support on average. At that G bracket, your average opponent is running around with a Rhino anyways. Would you have an advantage by not using Rhino and by using a better beast? Absolutely. But again, at that bracket, at any bracket, the biggest influence to your actual beasts themselves are your chips, not the beast. We should now make a fan club called Low Profile Lilith. That's funny. No, I get it. She's newer to the alliance and stuff, and I'm kind of cracking the whip because we've done a ton of recruiting in the last like 60 days. We brought a bunch of new players in, and I noticed that like our new players were performing really well, and I've got some longtime members who are like underperforming. And I don't mind if you underperform as long as like you communicate why you're underperforming. Like I had one member this last IR that had to go to the emergency room 12 hours into the event, and we were 1v4, and it's like no big deal. This is a mobile game. Go take care of life. Let us know if you need something. You know, like I'm more worried about you than I am this game. I don't care. But it's when you underperform for multiple events, you don't hit your point metrics, you actually don't come close hitting your point metrics, and then there's no communication as well, then at that point it becomes like, okay, there's far too much interest in other players wanting to join the alliance that I don't have the capability or the roster to just carry your weight for you. I would rather just move you out and move active players in. You know, end of the day, like it is a community, and we do enjoy having a community sense in the alliance, but we are a fighting alliance first and foremost. And if people are coming to the alliance with the expectation of being a fighting alliance, then everybody needs to carry the weight. The weight of war is super expensive, especially with how expensive RSS and speed up wise it is in this game, and it's not getting any cheaper anytime soon. So the weight gets lighter the more shoulders that you have to carry it, right? So I have to kind of hold everybody at a standard. So... But no, like when it comes to that, I appreciate when players are honest to say like, hey, I'm running out of resources, I'm running out of troops, last AR or last IR was taxing, I need to take a break for a minute. It's like, cool, do that. Like, the fact that you're low on resources or low on troops or whatever tells me that you're super active anyways. I would have no problem with you doing what you need to do to make sure that you're still enjoying the game rather than you getting burnt out, you know what I mean? I'm not going to hold everyone to a number every single time. I'm human, you're human, and at the end of the day, this is a mobile game. Plain and simple, it's a mobile game. It's not that serious. I just realized I was not farming. That is no bueno. What's up, Baguette? How's it going, brother? Let's see. I see what you mean. Should you get a third skill up or should you get one on Nova? I see. Honestly, a big part of it for you, Lohans, is it depends on what your other marches look like and if you need Nova for the field. I think regardless of if you need Nova for the field or not, it may be better. Well, there's nothing here that you're taking away from like the garrison restriction. Like you're not really refined or restricted to garrison. And by upgrading it another transcended skill, you're removing that. You've already kind of taken care of that with your first and third skill. So I would say go for Nova. I would transcend Nova one skill at that point and move her closer towards being very effective in the field and such. So you can use her in that sense. Farming and slamming PoE2. Nova's rage skill is almost mandatory. Semicircle to circle. That's what I mean. Is that that's what I was kind of hinting at when I was saying it depends on what the rest of your marches look like. I was kind of more implying like what the rest of your heroes look like. And if you are looking to, because if I remember right from the earlier comments that you put in here, Lohans, you're saying that you are starting to or wanting to lean more into garrison. And if that's the case, then yeah, now we go from Ethan just being a hero that you can use in other positions to Nova actually being like core for your garrison. So yeah, I would go first skill on Nova for sure. If you're flexing more towards that, I want a garrison piece. Hello, here's my arena report. Apart from the weird ships, I need some advice for future heroes to invest in. I'm not looking in infantry or riders yet. Any advice from you is much appreciated. Okay, so odds are you're looking just at range, right? You have Sharon finished, Ethan's finished, Sophie's finished, Libby's finished. Like, without even looking at your armaments or anything else, I would say that your next hero that you should probably invest into would be Claude. Claude is someone that's going to be in everybody. It doesn't matter whether you're infantry, rider, range, doesn't matter what it is. You could be flexing multiple troop types, you could be flexing one troop type. Claude is going to be around for a long foreseeable future. He reduces the damage that all your marches take, he increases the damages that all of their marches take, he cuts the HP of multiple marches at once, he slows all of them at the same time, he has good field stats, he has movement speed, all those things. All the pieces and components that you need in a core support for field, he brings to the table, so I would highly recommend you investing into Claude for the future. It could be for your 3rd March, 4th March, or whatever. That debuff is going to be huge. You stack his HP debuff and damage given reduction, all the rest of that stuff with Sharon's HP cut and then Sophie's skill damage taken increase, and now your enemies are just dying left and right at your rank or at your level. You said you're not focusing on infantry or rider, so I would take a pause on the backpack. You don't need to take the backpack parts anytime soon. You're not looking to flex multiple troop types, so I would do just the range equipment parts first. You're all purple and gold. The reason why the backpack parts are expensive aren't necessarily just because they're a lot better. It's because they influence all the different troop types, not one troop specific. That's why they're the most expensive. So I would lean away from the expensive pieces and just get the core ranged pieces done for you, because that's where you need to focus at. Attack damage. Yeah, these all look good. No problems there. You're at 18 and 12 here. I would take a pause, get all of these other ones to 6. So 6, 6, 6, 6. Go from 12 to 16, and then 12, 12, 12, 12. All right, so in order, 6, 6, 6, 6, 16, 12, 12, 12, 12, 20, 20. You can play that back if you need to. Armament-wise, looks like you're probably running 2, maybe 3 marches in the field. As for hero pairs, I might even consider running Sophie and Sharon, and then Louis and Ethan as your 2 core marches. That makes it to where Sophie has the low rage regen and the debuff, so she's proccing that quickly, which then means that Sharon's HP debuff is procced on average 1 second faster, 1 to 2 seconds faster, so that means a higher uptime amount on the HP cut and the debuffs. So I would run Sophie and Sharon, and then just use Louis and Ethan as your primary AoE pairing. It'll be a little bit slower because you don't really have any movement speed on Ethan and Louis, but if you're playing on turf, you'll perform really, really well. You could flex this pair of Sharon, Ethan, Sophie, Louis if you're going on like longer marches where Sophie has movement speed for Louis, Sharon has movement speed for Ethan. So you can go either way. I already have transcended Nova's first skill. I have left 30 cores. I'm really fought between getting 60 more to transcend another one, or let it go and save files for the next garrison ranged. Next garrison range isn't going to come around for, let's see, we went through, I mean, you're talking at least 3 months, right? 2 months, 3 months, probably 3 months. So, I mean, it's totally up to you. Nova is one of those people, Nova and Ethan, like, are going to be core 4 ranged for a while. So, I think that a big part of that is that every hero or every troop type operates on a 2-year window, where in 1 year you get a garrison hero and a rally hero. The next year you get a garrison hero and a rally hero. Those 2 heroes in combination or conjunction with each other for those 2 years become the core duo for that troop type's rally and garrison for at least the next 12 months, right? Then up to 24 months, where the next generation of heroes or that next 2 set pair becomes the new standard, right? So you operate in these 2-year increments. So Ethan and Nova will be not only sustainable but optimal for quite some time. And yes, in 3 months they will bring out a new ranged garrison hero, and it may be good. But again, I don't think that it does away with the effectiveness of Nova and Ethan until you get that second garrison ranged hero 15 months from now that will then work in unison or in cohesion with the new garrison hero that they bring out in 3 months, and that will be the new core ranged garrison pair. So a lot of Ethan's toolkit works really well with Nova's toolkit. The next ranged garrison hero will set the new standard for the next generation of ranged garrison, and then the ranged garrison hero they bring out 12 months after that will then pair with them, and that will be, you know, they will have a lot of cohesion and stuff, and their pairing and unison between the 2 of them. So I think that if you stayed investing in Ethan and Nova, you won't be punishing yourself at all. You already see that it's a proven garrison duo. They have a lot of skill damage reduction, high HP, AoE, like all the pieces are there. So, I don't know. That would be my approach, but especially if you've already invested in both of them. Do I give advice to low-level players also? Yeah, I help everybody from new players to maxed accounts, so I thought it did. Did I miss the notification, Piao? Hold on. Let me pull up Streamlabs. Where's my Streamlabs window? There it is. Alert box. Twitch subscription. Test. Twitch subscription. Let me just test it.
Well. What do we have here?
I don't know if I missed that or if I talked through it or what, but it is enabled. Oh. Oh my god. It is not enabled. The enabled button is unchecked. Oh my god. My fault. I don't know why I'm looking at the super chats enabled, YouTube subscribers is enabled, Twitch follows is enabled. Why was that one not enabled? I don't know. I apologize. That one is on me. I'll refund your subscription so you could do it again. That one is on me, my man. I am so sorry about that. Yeah, so there's a few ways you can go about it, Lestat. That would just be my approach. I don't think you can go wrong either way. The deer animal has 3 abilities, shield, counter, and crit, and the Draco animal has 2 abilities, counter and shield, if equipping legendary chips to them. If I want to equip legendary chips to them, if I make the deer leader and set its chips to crit and make Draco's chip counter, is this configuration good for them or not? I probably would just stay away from grass, period, for field. Because a lot of it requires you to be targeted, right? You don't actually proc counter unless you were targeted, just the same way that counter damage works in the field and all that stuff, right? So I wouldn't be using counter beasts at all, regardless, in the field. I would just be strictly sticking to combo and crit, because then it doesn't matter whether you're attacking me or if my screen is red or not. As long as I'm attacking you, I'm taking advantage of those core attributes like crit, counter, or crit and combo. So yeah, I would stay away from the grass stuff unless you're Garrison. If you're Garrison, then take the Gaia Deer, put counter chips on it, put it behind a Pango. It'll do really well for you. Thanks for the advice about the Nova's first skill. As a very low spender, I think always about cost benefit. Because of this, I think use the items to make Nova's skill or Nova more usable in the field. Yeah, that's the way it should be, right? And it doesn't matter whether you could be a maxed whale and it would be the same principle. It's just that it's a lot less worrisome for you. But a spender at any level, or even a free-to-play player, but especially free-to-play too, since you have a very limited amount of resources and stuff to expend on this, you should, like, the heroes that you're investing in should be, first and foremost, more than anything, viable for all situations. That way, if you want to flex Rally, if you want to flex Garrison, whatever it may be, you have the option to. That's why heroes like Ethan are so good to invest in, because he operates well in rallies, in Garrison, or in field, right? So you want to just make the resources and the money you spend stretch the furthest. I think is the core principle to pay attention to when picking heroes. I send an Reno report because you said you don't know the other heroes that I use. That's fine. I'll take a look at it in a second. You mentioned to invest in Claude as a debuff. Where to put him? I don't have any leader arms at the moment. Yeah, you don't need to lead with him. What you'll end up doing is that if you start building out a third set, I would run Sharon and Claude as a debuff pair. I would keep Sophie and Louis, and then I would flex something like either Nova and Ethan for another AoE pair. Or since you ever done, you can run Julia and Ethan and just have Sophie, Louis, Julia, Ethan, or Nova, Ethan as your core damage marches, and then run Sharon and Claude as your double debuff march, where Claude is cutting them by 35% HP and Sharon is cutting them also by 40% HP, so 75% HP cut between the two of them. So I'd be running 1 debuff march and 2 primary damage marches for you, lateral. Oh yeah, sorry, we were taking a look at everything else. Your armaments and stuff like that. I mean, like you said, you're early on. Things are a work in process, or things are a work in progress. Totally fine there. I assume your beasts are a work in progress too. Crit. Yeah. I mean, it's all work in progress. So there's not much you can say about the beasts and stuff. Just work on the gold ones first. Use the purple ones until the gold ones get to at least tier 7. After they get to tier 7, then put them in the lead spot, because then their leader skill does more damage than the purple beast maxed out, or at max level. As long as you stick to that principle, those things, you'll be good. I'm 60 cores. I'll maybe ask for your help to choose what to transcend. That's totally fine. I need to make a choice between using life pristines on the assistant of my strongest beast or my second strongest leader beast. I think if you are a rally or a garrison main, invest in your garrison beast pair. If you're just in field, then focus on the leader beasts, because then you don't get punished by this 70% inheritance portion of it that kind of reduces the amount that you're gaining for your leader beast. But if you are a rally or garrison main, you get the 400% attack and defense boost, so any damage or damage reduction and stuff that you can throw at them is just compounded really well. So which mystery merchant packages did you buy? Chips, parts, garage, or speed ups? I went for garage, some chips, because I am still kind of working on my range set. But mostly garage stuff, because that was the part that I was lackluster in. I haven't gotten anything garage in a long time, so I've been building those reserves back up for infantry TC. Hi Z, I hope you're doing great. Hope you're doing well as well. Does the third skill of the Pango or Bull increase all attributes by 400%, including special ones like crit combo counter, or just the basic attributes? It's just the basic attributes, attack and defense, to be precise. The HP part is influenced by the size of the squad itself, and that's why it's like massive. And rallies and garrisons is because you have that 1.5 or the 2 mil capacity, that kind of a thing. That's the part that influences the HP, but the attack and defense are the ones that are multiplied by 400%. What about the crab? Since corrosion can't crit, isn't slightly better to put combo counter on the crab? Not necessarily. Crit and combo still work. Yes, you can't make the corrosion crit unless you have Otachi as a lead. However, not all skills on a corrosion beast are corrosion, so the primary form of damage for Otachi, or the first form of damage, is not corrosion, and then there's a chance to then deal corrosion damage. Support is just core damage at that point. If you go to Pluto, same thing. He's got core damage on the leader, and then a corrosion section down here. Same thing here. He does core damage up top. Corrosion damage is secondary. So the lead, if a corrosion beast is leading, they still deal non-corrosion based damage. The support beast deals raw corrosion damage, but in the lead slot, they do deal flat normal damage that's non-corrosion that can crit. So means in general, crit and combo are more flexible for the field, garrison, or rally, right? Yes, field and rally, they're the most important factors for sure. In garrison, if you are strictly making a garrison set, then yes, going counter is your best attribute to get. You can flex combo into garrison because that's all funnel damage towards the tank rally that's hitting your tower. So if you're playing AR, you're getting hit by 3 rallies, all the combos being funneled into that primary rally, so you're dealing a lot of beast damage to it. And then of course, crit can crit on your combos, your counters, your primary actives, and your primary leader skills, things like that. So could I send you my AOD report in game for any advice? Yeah, totally fine, Liz. Also, as free to play, you can transcend heroes quite easily. It takes time, but you can definitely do it. Yep, for sure. I've been sent beasts of 300 mil players. They don't even have full arrays or good heroes, and now my eyes bleed. Yeah, I've seen a lot of both ends for sure. I've helped max accounts that are working on their 5th OC chipset. I've seen max accounts that don't have a single OC chipset. So I've seen both sides of the spectrum in the conversation for sure. Oh yeah, this is for your other heroes that you're running, right? So you are running probably 2 marches in the field. I probably wouldn't be running more than 2 marches in the field here. You could argue to do 3 if you're running just a debuff or a buff march, but honestly, like with the might that these ones are at, I would just be flexing your Ethan Louis as your primary form of damage, and I would probably run Sophie and Claude as just a debuff march, because you drop off pretty quick. You go from 5 mil to 3 mil. I would work on the 3 mil to push it to 4 mil, then put another damage hero behind Sophie and run Ethan Louis, Sophie, and say Sharon or Cedric or something like that for damage, and then start working your 3rd march that drops off even harder to 2.3 mil, get that up to 3 mil, and then have a debuff pair like maybe Julia and Claude type of thing, where you have a silence and a debuff cut. No worries at all, Nix. Hassan, no problem at all. There isn't anyone in the game that explains what corrosion or detonation is. Do you know how these skills work? Yeah, absolutely. Both of them are labeled as bleed or damage over time. even though detonate only lasts 1 second, they're just labeled as bleed debuffs in the game. So corrosion damage just deals damage every second for an extended period of time. So here I was testing out Pluto plus Crab, where I was running full OCs and full combos, just to see how many stacks of corrosion I could get on them at a single time. So if we go to, say, 48 seconds, you can see here that we did, let's do Pluto Jellyfish to use Toxic Tide, which put corrosion damage on them, which is the continuous bleed. Came down here, did a combo, which used Invisible Whip, which put bleed on them, which caused Crab to use his active skill, which put bleed on them. So if you go to the next second and you go to the top of the report, you'll see all the corrosion stacks here. So here's 1 corrosion, here's 2 corrosion, and 3 corrosion. It's the bleed damage that's dealt at the top of the report before the troops actually start fighting. If we go to another instance, I think maybe, see, 75 seconds, how many? This one has 4 corrosion stacks, but I've seen up to 6 stacks of corrosion you can get on someone at 1 second. And then detonate, it's just an extra form of damage. It's almost like you stick a bomb to them, and then 1 second later the bomb detonates and it deals bonus damage is all it is. How to build leader armaments. Is building them with universal hones a good idea? Which heroes are best paired with Claude as lead or assistant? Depends on the troop type that you're using. You can either go with something like, say, your infantry. You can run like a tank leader in front of Claude, like Bodala, that would just basically keep him alive. If that's the functionality of the lead hero that you want to use. You could use something like Sophie, who has high rage regen, low rage proc at 900 rage, so then you're procking that Claude debuff more often. You could go with something like Sharon, where Sharon is already HP cutting for ranged, and then you can just make that a double HP cut march. You can go with something like Daryl for riders, who is one of 3 rider heroes that has defense as one of his skills, passive skills. So if you go to Daryl, right here, increases rider defense by 24%. He's one of only 3 rider heroes that actually has defense in one of his skills. So because of that, you could pair it with him, and again, same thing. You kind of get the same thing as Bodala, where you get like a tankier type march and keeps Claude alive at that point. So there's a few ways you can approach it, but I would typically use Claude in a pair that would be operated as like low damage output. You're not looking for that march to do a lot of damage. You're just looking for that march to enhance your other damaged marches that you're using. What is the best for Pangolin? Double counter chips on it, an assistant, or a crit combo? If you were to run like a double Pango, your best bet is to run counter on the lead, crit on the support beast. That would be your best if you're running like economic wise. But if you really want to talk the best, I mean, the best is just OC chips. But if you want to talk about best on a budget, then yeah, I'd probably run counter chips on the lead, crit chips on the support if you were just fully garrison oriented and focused. But that's if you're fully garrison focused. What is your region? I'd like to send you my arena report and would appreciate your help showing me a strong path for my journey. I'm in 164, but I am not in my alliance. I'm in a different alliance for what's it called? District Showdown. So that is my player ID. I just put it in chat. By the way, how did you finish the last Isabella skill transcended because of cores? I just did the Isabella event. If you do the Isabella search event or whatever have you, instead of just getting Isabella fragments, it starts to give you cores as you use more spins, and then you just use that to build it out. Yeah, it's totally fine. You can send me a report. It's no problems at all there. Hope all is well. For Nova Transcended Order, would you say just 1324 is the way to go? Thanks in advance. Let me double check. I actually haven't done anything with Nova, so I don't want to give you the wrong information. Give me one moment. I know that the first skill is the most important because it turns it from a fan shape to a circular area. So 1 for sure. And then 2 is this skill down here at the bottom. So, okay, so it should be 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. So it should be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Sorry, give me 1 second. When not in a rally, defense by 35%, and rage damage reduction when it's caused damage reduction. HP 40%, 45. When not in a rally. Yeah, I would go 1, 3, 4, 2. Or 1, 3. Yeah, 1, 3, 4, 2.
Two is okay. I mean, he gives 10% more attack, which is actually kind of marginal when you really think about it. But I mean, you're only going up an extra 2% rage regen for 60 more seconds, as opposed to 5% more HP, which is far harder to get. And then, I mean, yeah, it gives you 15% skill damage reduction also in the field, not just rallies, or not just garrisoned. So between a 25% increase in skill damage taken reduction and making it available in field and not just garrison, and the 5% HP, I would take that over 60% more of a 20% buff. And the 10% attack, again, is very marginal in the grand scheme of things. Gathering Week is here? I guess so. Going to have 3 out of 4 Metalk. Do you think Metalk Isabella would be good pair in field? Would have Daryl Claude as support and soon Sisters for defense shred. So Metalk and Isabella can be good, yes, absolutely. One of the interesting pairs you can actually run with Metalk is Aaron and Metalk, because Metalk, I don't know if you have this available or not, Baguette, but just theoretically speaking, right? Stay with me on this. If you have Aaron and you put Aaron in front of Metalk, Aaron will proc AoE for the next 4 seconds, and Metalk goes, oh, hey, you just procced AoE, I'm going to start totaling up all the damage that you deal for the next 3 seconds, and Aaron is hitting a bunch of marches with AoE for the next 3 seconds, and all that's being totaled up. And then, of course, you get the skill damage bonus and everything that Aaron provides also and whatnot. So it takes that, takes the AoE that Aaron's doing, makes it a higher number calculated for Metalk's damage report for the next 3 seconds, and then it turns that damage that Metalk does into her AoE as well. So it's just actually a really good pair to use. But Metalk and Isabella can do really good, yes, because then Isabella debuffs them to take more damage before Metalk's AoE procs, 2 seconds after? So yes, it is good. What's up, 8? How's it going, brother? I'm struggling with the last one because the roulette what? Because the roulette Gavis for 3 skills. Sorry, I'm not following on that. Might need to expand on that. Yeah, it was mostly due to what I have. Chasey 2 out of 4 is also an option. Yeah, absolutely. So Chasey Metalk is definitely consistent. Me and Meat Wagon. Oh my God, Meat Wagon and his rider marches were testing that last IR, and yes, Chasey and Metalk is very consistent. Meat Rider, holy shit! I meant to say Meat Wagon with his riders tested it last IR. Oh my God, I need to start drinking. Oh, yeah, that's right. You were there. Duh. Sorry. I didn't know if we were testing that before or after you were there. And when I was watching your PoE. Yes. You were there. No problem. Thanks for the tips yesterday. Replace all my garrison hones as you suggested. I have a couple heroes that are awakened, but no super weapon. Rick, Light, and Isabella, unfortunately, no good leaders set. Should I use them in my 5 March squad anyways? Really only have 3 rider and 2 infantry sets. I would just stick to what you have here. Death Brigade, are you in the stream? I would just stick to what you have here, buddy. Looking at this, like, you have AoE, you have extremely strong single target pairings. You have AoE and high single target hybrid in one. You have AoE and you have a debuff march. I would stick to this. We had just talked about your stuff yesterday, so I would give it time to actually play out, use it in field, and see the performance, and then identify the weak gaps. I wouldn't change things, and then before you get a chance to use it in events, try to change things again. I'm doing good, 8. How are you, brother? Appreciate you being here, man. Isabella fine as assistance. I'll be able to awaken 1 between her and LeBlanc, but I'm really far to have a leader armament set. So yeah, Isabella's totally fine as a support. I used Isabella's support for a long time while I was building out her leader set as well. And the thing about her is that you get her full kit regardless of her leading or not, right? The awaken skill is nice, but it's a cherry on top kind of nice. Think about her skit as a whole, or her kit as a whole. She gives 25% skill damage to her march. She gets rage regen. She gets 40% HP, reduction in damage when she's flanked. She gets flat attack with 35%, movement speed, reduction in enemy movement speed, and an AoE debuff. All of those things are not required for her to lead the march in order to get the benefit out. only this last piece. So her toolkit as a whole is amazing, regardless of if she's leading or not. If she's leading, you just get the extra benefit of her Awaken skill, which is nice, but her whole toolkit in general is great to use regardless. So no. Am I drunk? No, not yet. It's only 4:30. Almost there. Next glory, you gotta tag a base as Meat Rider. Also looking forward to our next one. Past is a bit of a snooze fest. Yeah, I feel that. I'm thinking of making legendary leaders armament set. Which armament should I choose? Focused on the field. Are you talking about like which pieces to pick? I honestly wouldn't really know because I haven't looked at them. I've only looked at the superb pieces. I would go lethality attack since that works in everything other than basic pieces for the or basic attacks to the weapon. For the backpack, counter damage. Yeah, I would just go attack on that one as well because again, same thing. It influences all the damage, not just counter damage. Lethality attack, counter damage. Yeah, same thing. Just get all the pieces that give you core attack and stuff like that. Don't try to stay away from the things that give you specifics like counter damage or basic attack damage, that kind of a thing. Just take the lesser amount that influences all your damage types. Question, what is better, Nova Ethan or the other way around as Garrison? So it depends. There is a talent that you have under the skills talent tree. It's called Skillful Firepower right here, and it basically says that after you use a rage skill, increases your skill damage for the next 6 seconds. So Nova's rage skill by default has higher skill damage than Ethan's does. The difference is that Ethan's skill damage hits 1 more target at 4 targets where Nova's hits 3. So in scenarios where you have multi-rallies or swarming on the tower and stuff, it's beneficial to run Nova Ethan because then you get the bonus skill damage that hits more targets. But if you're taking a single rally or no swarms where there's 3 or less marches around the tower, then it's more beneficial to run Nova Ethan where that 7.5% bonus skill damage multiplier applies to the higher base skill damage that Nova has as support. So it's situational. Nova Ethan is great for single target Garrison. Ethan Nova is great for AR and triple rally Garrison. You have it backwards. Nova Ethan for the multi, Ethan Nova for the single, because Nova has the higher skill target base but less targets hit. Yeah, no, I get it. A lot of people will do that, 8, but there's actually logic and reason as to why you would do one or the other. Unless you ask them why they do that and they provide you a counter reason, they're just doing it just because. What are my guesses for the next infantry garrison hero? I'm hoping that we have something that continues to expand on the shield piece. Or we get a circular AoE. Circular AoE we're definitely missing in infantry, that side of things. I would love to see them even flex something like damage absorption, which we have in RPGs and MMOs, where you take the damage that's being dealt to you and you convert that into a shield, which would then complement Boyd's bonus of shield health and stuff. Or something that would complement his shield reflect damage that he has on his Awaken skill. I don't know, there's a few ways you can go. Hard to say. As always, much appreciated. No problem at all, 8. No problem at all. Let's keep going up this list real quick. Really... Yep, no worries at all, Death. Like I said, man, when I look at this, there's nothing that stands out to say, like, hey, you should do this. If this was me and I had all the heroes available, I might do something like put Isabella with a leader set in front of Rubina, because then they take a debuff and then that increases the single target nuke damage that Rubina would do, but that would require you to have a leader set. That would require you to have Isabella, like that kind of stuff, right? So when I look at this, there isn't anything that stands out to say like, hey, you should make this change or this needs to change, that kind of a thing. This all looks good. Again, you have your tanky debuff march, you have high single target damage, you have AoE, you have an AoE single target hybrid and another AoE. Like there's not much more that you can ask for. You could swap out the Eileen up here because your infantry set is 4 mil as opposed to your rider set, which is 5 mil. You could swap out Eileen here and take Julian. Then, yes, you lose 1 AoE hero, but you get up to 50% reduction in attack, defense, and HP on the enemy marches, which then makes all your marches perform better. That is something that you could flex on the infantry side and be an easy switcheroo to do without needing to make any new sets or anything like that at all. But at its core, you have a good setup, Death. No worries at all, Lateral. Calamity. Yes, I will get you, Calamity. I got you. I turned around in my... Can you help me with heroes and combinations for the field? I mean, there's nothing wrong with this at all. Just from like a glance, like you have your weakest marches are running debuffs. Your strongest marches are sitting on your strongest marches. Your Isabella isn't that strong, but she also doesn't have like your Nova, your Ethan, your Sophies, your stronger heroes. There's nothing wrong with this at all, Sylvie. You have, again, a debuff plus rage regen for that debuff, which is good, and a flex into AoE. You have a core field pair. You have a core field pair with more AoE. You have a tanky Lyn in front of a debuff Claude. You have a Miyamoto for your infantry set in front of a Bianca to then buff all these. There's nothing wrong with this at all. You're running multiple troop types, so you're flexing into backpack. That's totally fine. You're running 3 pieces, 3-piece counterattack and damage. Like yeah, there's nothing wrong with this. You got 16 and 7 here, so I'd push these other pieces to 12. So 12, 12, 12, 12 before getting those other ones up to 20. But that's looking good in your build as well. Combo, crit, count. Yeah, dude, you have a very good foundation, Sylvie. At this point, the best thing that you can do for your count is give it more time. You're looking good. Is Isabel also great to use? Is Isabel also great to use as an assistant even without super weapon? Yeah, you don't need her super weapon. Her super weapon just increases your squad size, which then just increases how long she can survive and how much damage output she has. But again, at its core, you don't need her super weapon to have her toolkit. When you transcend her skills, if anything, the biggest change is that her debuff on her main skill goes from 3 people to 5 people. But Sophie debuffs 3 people with her rage skill, and we still use her, and she's great. So yeah, no issues at all there. If you're a rider main, but your range set is better than your weakest rider, which do you use? Rider 3.7 and range 3.9. It depends how far off your other pieces are, like your parts on your equipment here, and your refinery as well. If those 2 things are lackluster, then it's not really a difference of 3.7 to 3.9. It's a lot more other influential parts. Even your garage, too, can influence that. I also think that besides that part, the other part that's influential is the hero availability. I think that range 3.9 could be useful if you're running a Sophie and Sharon, because then you get the damage taken debuff from Sophie, and you also get the HP cut from Sharon, which you don't get those things from any other 2 heroes in Rider. So that would be where your flex is. If you have Sophie and Sharon available, take the range set. If you don't, then take the added benefits you would have from the other parts, non-armaments, and take the Rider 3.7. Top 3 must-have infantry heroes if you're a whale and if you're a free-to-play. For either one, I would say Julian for sure, because that debuff is just mandatory. Claude, you need Claude at every single level of character that you play. The stronger that your opponent is, the more impactful damage, the more impactful debuffs are. So Claude for sure, even though that's not infantry specific. So Julian, Claude, and... I'd probably say Sakura. Sakura is just outright raw damage. She's insane with how much damage that she does in rallies, in field, and you can flex her into garrison. So she is a hybrid like Ethan where she can be flexed into multiple roles, but she's also the highest damage output hero single-handedly for infantry. So Sakura, Julian, and Claude would be the 3. As Captain Salzahar, I sent you a report. Sure, I got you in just a sec. Would I need to get my other troop type devices to 18 before I get my main to 22, or leave them at 16? I would do 16 all around, then get your other 2 main pieces to 20. Once you get to 20, then it's up to you to decide. You would get more benefit getting all the other ones to 18 at that point from 16. But you could also go 22. I wouldn't go past 22 without pushing the others to 18 because it gets drastically more expensive after 22. But that would be for you to decide. If you have the materials to warrant the jump from 20 to 22, you could totally do it. And you would get the additional, 4% total attack and defense, or 3% total attack and defense. What is that? 4%, 5%, sorry, because it's 2.5% per level. 5% bonus attack and defense total. But that seems very marginal in comparison to the amount of like materials that you would have to spend for the same amount of firepower and protection gain, if not less. So it kind of depends on what is more important to you at that point, but I wouldn't say that there's a wrong answer. Once you get into that 20, 22, 16, 18 range, things are so expensive anyways that it just really comes down to preference. If you're at 20-20 on your max, but the rest are 12-12, I would push the others to 16-16. For sure, regardless. I would go 16 all around, 22-22, and then 18-18 on the range. Because if I recall from your setup, you're very range built, and you actually have a really good core foundation in your other parts as well. So I don't think that taking a little bit less firepower and protection would be a detriment to you. But I don't think that the bonus attack and defense is like standoutish either. But by getting to 22-22, it gives you enough time to then assess based on the new heroes that they're bringing out if you're going to ever flex into a different troop type, or need to flex into other areas of your account, that kind of thing. Like, you're so high up in your garage at that point that the money spent doesn't go very far anyways, and you're better off spending in other parts of your account, like the beast, the refinery, that kind of a thing. So it's very marginal either way that you choose to go. Would you buy the superhero pack event to get the 50 cores? It's a guaranteed 50 cores as opposed to the luck-based system of the steel event itself. Like, you could have an event where you spend double that to get the same amount of cores. You could have an event where you spend half of that to get the same amount of cores. So I think it just depends on your budget. If your budget is flexible, I would maybe take the risk more towards the steel. At the odd chance that you have to spend 50% more, but get 4 times the amount of cores or whatever have you, or 2 times as many cores, whatever it may be. But if your budget is very limited, then especially in a gacha game, I would be spending in areas that you get guaranteed rewards rather than luck-based systems. Who would you suggest to awaken between Claude and Louis No Skin to potentially use behind Sakura when rallying? I currently use Isabella when field fighting, and Eileen when rallying. I would go Claude for sure. I like Claude on rallies. I used Claude on rallies for a long time. Now I just use Sakura and Master Jin. But Claude does really, really well as support in rallies, not only to increase the damage output of your Sakura, reduce the damage that she's taking, but you go into an event like AR where there's multi-rallies and you're just setting up to debuff the garrisons so then the side, second and third rallies perform better. If you're swarming the tower in AR or an Island Raid, you're just setting up the swarms better, that kind of thing. There's so much utility that you get out of Claude, plus the fact that Claude is just one of the top 3 needed heroes in the field. For any troop type, he's just a great investment in general. How many whistles did you bet on for tomorrow's game, Saturday? Oh, man. I don't know. Oh, I've dumped all of mine into United States. I didn't bet anything for tomorrow, huh? Who do I bet here? Do I just hyper dump into Germany again? What did Germany win by last time? Didn't they blow theirs out? Yeah, 7-1. I'm going Germany again. Appreciate it as always. No problem at all. Oh, we won 2-0 against Australia. Let's go. Let's go. Oh. For steel, I always stop at 2,000 gold packs. Over the 3 days, you get 900 files. I think it's not the most effective, but it works in the long run. Yeah. At this point, I'm just getting the ones from the gold store, since they give you like 790 or something like that for 10,000 gold's worth. I've come back after taking a break. I'm readjusting to what's new. I've been free to play since I got back. Over-focused infantry from the last year before break. 2.8. So you're ranging from a 5.2 down to a 2.2 mil as your swing. I would run 3 marches in the field max. Do you have Boyd's skill transcended? No. If you can get one skill transcended on Boyd to get the second skill transcended, it'll do huge wonders for your account. I would be getting rid of Louis. I would be running Boyd, Miyamoto. I'd be running Bodala, Claude. Well, okay, let me go from strongest to weakest of those 3 armament pairs. I'd be going Boyd, Miyamoto. I'd be going Eileen and Julian on your second strongest, and I'd be going Bodala and Claude on your third strongest. You don't want Stella in the field. She's terrible. Eddie can go. Bianca can go. And I would just do that until you get your next armament set from 2 mil up to 3 mil. But before you even do that, I would probably be pushing this armament set to 4 mil. Once this gets to 4 mil, start working on this one to push it to 3 mil. Once this one gets to 3 mil, then send a 4th March out into the field. Take a pause in this backpack. Work on only infantry parts. There's no need to do the backpack. You don't have multiple troop types in your marches. I mean, it's not. You said you're free to play, so you're at the mercy of crafting items, so that's fine there. Take a pause in the infantry parts. Get all the rest of these to level 6. Once they're at 6, 6, 6, 6, then you're going to go 16 here. Then you go 12, 12, 12, 12. So 6, 6, 6, 6, 16, 12, 12, 12, 12. That's going to be your order. You got crit, crit, combo, combo. Yeah, your beast pairings look fine. You're free to play. It's going to be a work in progress for you. I once tried an invasion with Cedric and Claude. Ethan Cedric looked better to me. Yes, but we're talking about infantry here, right? We're not talking about ranged. Let me go up here. Yeah, we're talking about somebody asking for questions with Sakura, which is infantry. We're not talking about ranged, who has Cedric, who has Bard, who has Sophie, who has Louis, who has Ethan. Ranged has 5 or 6 heroes that they can use on rallies. We're not talking about ranged. We're talking about infantry here, who has Sakura and Stella. That's it. That's it. It's a night and day difference. It's apples to oranges. Yes, Ethan and Cedric will outperform Cedric and Claude because there's no reason to use Cedric and Claude. You don't need to use Claude and rallies for ranged because range is all heavy attack based. You have 20% higher attack as your base stats than any of the other troop types, but your defense is far, far lower. So you lean into the damage output side. With infantry, we have very low attack, but we have high defense, so we lean into the damage mitigation to take even trades, not into the damage. So it's apples and oranges, brother. I didn't know they sold steel in the gold store. I thought it was just the app. Well, I just mean the equivalent. Yeah, it's in the what's it called? It's like the Doomsday gold store, like their website or whatever have you. You don't get it for gold. Yes, you get it cash wise, but that's what I'm talking about. I need to leave. You are great. Thanks. No problem at all, Hassan. Janhani, appreciate you being here. Okay, hold on. We got to keep going up here. So you have Sakura done. I mean, you're just a new account with a work in progress. Let's see. This is your main armament set. Best advice I can give you, drop those rally and garrison hones. They are a bait. You see gold hones, you see, oh, it's growing my might up a bunch. They do jack squat diddly shit for you in the field. It is just blank power for you. It is a false lie. It's a false narrative. It looks like more might as a number on paper, but your performance is worse. This looks like a 1.8 mil march, but it's really performing like a 1.6 mil march, right? Don't do that to yourself. Just take even purple values there instead for infantry attack, defense, block, lethality. Doesn't matter what it is. Do not take garrison or rally hones. It's the worst thing you can do to yourself. Beasts are going to be a work in progress, but yeah, I would focus on that when it comes to your armament set. For your hero pair, Miyamoto is totally fine. If you're running just Sakura and just Miyamoto as a one march in the field, and you got your hones dialed in, you will be killing it at your level. And being new to the game. Take a pause on the backpack parts. You don't need to invest in them. I would start off with the infantry one. When I look at your hero armaments, yeah, like your rider and your ranged aren't anything near compared to your infantry one. So I would just hone in on the infantry first, build that out as strong as possible, take the advantages on the field, those types of things, then start flexing into the other ones. If you want to find good pieces in the refinery, I would flex damage and attack as 2 stat pieces. You can get those for 200 gold. and dirt cheap, and then it just gives you a good foundation to build upon to then upgrade them. So damage attack, damage attack, damage attack, damage attack, do that in all 4 of them. Take a pause here, get all the rest of these to tier 3 level 1, because you're going to get a lot more firepower and a lot more protection for far less spend. Get these ones to level 12, and then get these to level 6. So in order, tier 3 level 1, tier 3 level 1, tier 3 level 1, tier 3 level 1, tier 3 level 12, tier 3 level 12, level 6, 6, 6, and 6 before you keep going. That should give you plenty to work on, and then we can reconnect after you get to that point with your account. Thanks for all the tips. Good night, Z. In the old world is night. No problem at all, Lestat. Appreciate you being here. Hope you have a wonderful evening, and I will see you sometime soon. We have the Secret Army event going on. Do you recall if the event changes the equipment, or is it always the helmet like I'm seeing today? Yes, it does rotate the 2 pieces that it gives you every single time that it comes up. So it'll rotate between, like, what did you say it is this time? The helmet, or whatever this round. It'll rotate to a different 2 pieces next time, and then another 2 different pieces the following time after that. And it'll just rotate in those orders, in that order. I had a gold level 7 Draco with crit chips as lead for my 5th March. Should I put it as support and put gold bull with purple combo chips as lead? I would just do anything to get away from the counter beasts, personally. If you were strictly field, then I would just be running nothing but fire and water beasts across the board. If you have garrison, then yes, maybe flex 1 beast with grass and counter chips, and then have your physical beast. But if you are strictly all field, then just go strictly all fire and water. There's no reason to do anything else at that point. Okay, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, no worries at all. Just reconnect with me after you... that kind of gives you enough to work on for the next 90 days, 6 months, whatever have you. And then my DMs are always open. Just, send me a message, and we'll reevaluate your account at that time. It's almost 1 a.m. in Europe, not really evening. Well, I mean... however you want to put it, I guess. If I have no auto farmer gathering bonus over gathering speed from the refinery, makes more sense. Also, is there any one good farmer armament set for the squad that jumps into the Alliance Center? Yes, if you don't have the auto farmer, then gathering bonus does best for you because you get the most for your time spent. And then during that downtime, that bonus helps to give or help make up for it, basically. If you have the auto farmer, then gathering speed starts to shine, but you don't want to overdo it because of diminishing returns. There's a good middle ground balance. If you are in the Knowledge Syndicate Discord, I actually have that in the pinned tips for players channel. If you go into there, I actually have the full math breakdown of what is the sweet spot to target for your refinery for gathering speed and gathering bonus. But yes, if you don't have the auto gatherers, then gathering bonus is your best friend for sure. Because then you can just still build your armament set and still get gathering speed on that anyways. You just can't get gathering bonus there. Armament set wise, not necessarily. You just kind of take the pieces that give you the most. So like they don't really have any, like you get like the gathering speed on the shovel, you get the food gathering speed on the boots, oil gathering speed on the pants, that kind of a thing. You kind of build it out as you have it, but there isn't necessarily like one set that's best. The shovel is the best for sure because that gives flat gathering speed. But any use in a tier 7 Pluto with purple chips over a tier 8 bull 1-star OCs? Yeah, the physical OC chips don't really do that well in the field because if you look at the 6-star bonus, or the 6-piece bonus, I should say, it says when in rally or in garrisoned, so both the skill damage and the physical damage reduction, or just the active skill damage in your case, when in a rally or garrisoned, you don't actually get that. And then here with the 4-piece, when the active skill deals damage in a rally or garrison, then it gives this whole second part as well. So the physical OCs don't actually do anything for you other than giving you good base stats, so the basic attributes for fields. So I would be flexing the Pluto for sure at that point. It will take a while to get those fire and water beasts level 7, but thanks. Yeah, it's always a work in progress for everybody, right? Like even mine is still a work in progress. I'm working on my next combo set. I'm working on my grass OCs. But other than that, I'm mostly running like purple chips on everything else, I'm working on another physical set there because I'm trying to run a double garrison setup where I have Pango, Pluto, and then Pango and Gaia Deer for the other garrison. But yeah, I mean, where's my AOD report? See, so I'm still running purple chips on some of my marches. My gold chips aren't anywhere near done, so it's a work in progress for everybody. Doesn't matter what level you're at. For Garrison mainly, if you're garrisoning, then you could make the argument to have the 1-star OCs. I would probably run the OCs for the Garrison scenarios, then swap them over to purples when you're in the field. It'll be a little bit more work, but you're maximizing efficiency at that point. Thank you for the response. And when I get Isabella armament stronger, should you stay in the same combination or put her in a stronger hero than Louis? No, Louis is good. I like Louis here, like where you're still pretty early on with how like you're deciding what to do. Like this is a tanky debuff march, right? This is a buff march. Isabella is then going to debuff them, and then she has bonus skill damage. Louis has bonus skill damage. They both have bonus rage regen and stuff. This just becomes a debuff AoE nuke march. So the stronger that this march gets, the better it performs, the more towards your top tier damage this is going to be. But that pair is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. If you soon have Sharon, where would we put Sharon in this march? At that point, I would probably do something like move Ethan. No, actually, I would just keep that, and I would actually get rid of Spectra here. Yeah, because she is like, she's very focused on just her march. I would get rid of Spectre and I put Sharon here. Then you have the debuff flexed with the Nova, who has good field stats as well, has the AoE, those types of things. So you insert a whole new debuff into your lineup, but then you still have that Isabella Louis flex, where again they're shining because they have good rage regen. They have the debuff from Isabella. They both have skill damage bonus. You have like the high single target nuke from Isabella and the AoE aspect of Louis. I think those are good in that sense. And I would just put Sharon in front of Nova. I'd get rid of Spectra. Another question for equipment parts: go backpack parts first or troop parts? It depends. SCTH, it depends. If you have 60% or more of your marches, so if you're using 5 marches, if at least 3 of them are one troop type, I would stick to the individual troop stats first. Most people are running 5 marches, 1 troop type, 4 marches, 1 troop type, or 3 marches or more, 1 troop type. In those cases or scenario, you would just go with the parts for that specific troop type that you have 60% of your marchers or more leading into. If you're someone that's, say, running 2 rider, 2 ranged, and 1 infantry, then at that point you have so much balance in terms of troop types happening that it makes sense to do your backpack first. And can you use a 2-star Chiron to support? Yeah, I would not flex a beast, whether they're gold or the epic ones like Chiron or Pluto or anything like that, to leader until they're at least tier 7. Basic things to follow as a ranged rider and infantry garrison: don't neglect damage reduction. Lean into whatever basics or base stats your troop type shines in. So for infantry, that would be your damage reduction, your defense, your HP. For range, you're flexing more into the damage aspect of things because you have a 20% higher base attack stat than the other troop types. For rider, your weakness is you're getting swarmed out, so definitely lean into the damage reduction side of things as well to help mitigate against that, since you don't have anything like high AoE damage as a range or as a rider garrison, nor you really don't have like any AoE or anything like that at all to kind of counter the swarms, so you really just need to try to out-sustain the swarms. So the defense side of things is most important for the infantry to flex into that being their highest stats, for riders to patch the holes of their weaknesses of where they're at as a rider garrison. And then for ranged, yes, you still want to flex into survivability, but for ranged, your primary form of survivability is your damage output, so you need to flex more into your damage side of things first and foremost. If you're a garrison player, the best thing that you can do for your account is build your beasts out. If you have poor beasts, then it doesn't matter what any other aspect of your account it is. They will circumvent all of those stats and deal beast penetration damage, and it doesn't matter how good your account is built out in those other areas. You will get punished there, and you'll get punished hard. So for garrison across the board, the best thing that you can build is your beast. A white PV or attack part for range. What is PV? For ranged, I would be doing your HP ones and your attack first. I would do HP first on any troop type, and then I would do the attack one. Yeah, I would do HP. I do HP. I do HP first on any troop type. There's so few places you can get HP. It's the best stat you can get. Oh, I see. Okay, gotcha. Baguette. Gotcha. That makes sense. Good questions today, guys. Good questions. If you guys are here, please do not forget to hit the like button at the bottom of the video. It's free, it takes 2 seconds to do, and it is greatly appreciated. Helps me out a ton. Especially with this new Knowledge Syndicate series that we're starting and doing when it comes to these live streams, the office hours. You guys did really well with the one from yesterday. That thing blew up really quick. Why Beast is the most important for Garrison Rally? If you need to choose between equipment, or Beast, go to Beast. Yeah, absolutely. You want to have a good foundation with your equipments and stuff like that, because obviously you don't want to just be taking a bunch of free troop damage. But Beast damage doesn't care about your set. Doesn't matter how much defense you have, damage reduction you have, damage you have, lethality, block, firepower, any of that stuff. If there's a Beast gap, you will get demolished, you will get destroyed, and that Beast damage is all being dealt to you. All right, let me give you an example. So on this garrison here, actually I need to find one where we have a huge difference in beasts. FKOR, this is their ranged one. I need one where... That's all the new range sets. That was just us testing against those. Okay, we'll just use this for example, right? This isn't a rally. This is actually me just hitting someone's base, right? And you can see the difference in beast damage. So this isn't even using Pango or Rhino or any of those things where you have the 400% bonus in a rally or garrison, whatever like that, right? This is just simply me hitting his base, but you can see the difference in beast damage, right? So if I go to combat log and I come down here and I go in increments of 6 seconds, and let's say that I land on... I'm just going to find a good instance here. I just want to show you what it can be. I have beast reports where because of the beast gap, I deal 140,000 troop kills in 1 second because of the gap. But in this case, I don't have a... I really want to have like a rally or garrison beast. FKOR. Is this one enough of a gap? Maybe this one's enough of a gap. I mean, it's 29 to 20. So if we look at the chip difference, right? So he's almost got full double OCs. I do have double OCs. Let's see. I actually haven't looked at the beast damage on this one. Let's see. Okay, I mean, this works. So this isn't as big of a beast gap as previously talked about. I mean, we're both running double OCs. The gap is pretty marginal, actually. But if you see, so I launched a counterattack, and it dealt 956 troops worth of kills. I did a basic attack at 813. 813 and 956. That's my basic, and that's my counterattack, right? My Hammer Pangolin uses his leader skill, and it dealt 10 times that, even with a marginally close difference with our OC chips. I dealt 9,800 troop kills as opposed to the 900 or the 800. A combo at 1,800. So now we're already at 10,000, 11,600. Now we're at 13,100. 13,100 troop kills with 3 beast skills. 15,000 beast kills, or 15,000 troop kills with beast kills in 1 second, as opposed to 1,700 with a basic and counterattack from heroes. Doesn't matter what type of armaments he has, doesn't matter that he has all white parts, doesn't matter that his garage is 25 all the way around and mine is 20, 23, 15, 22, 23, 11, doesn't matter. I dealt over 10 times the amount of kills in beasts than I did with my troops in 1 second. So that is why Beast is the fundamentally biggest impact that you can have when it comes to garrison and rallies. He has all white parts. He has all maxed out armaments. He has a maxed out garage. I don't. By nature, he should be outperforming me. He should be kicking my ass. But I just dealt 15 times the amount of troop kills with Beast on a marginal benefit or a marginal gap that I have in Beast chips, because all of this damage circumvents all of these buffs, all these hero buffs here. It doesn't care that his firepower is 5,900 and 5,800 and mine's way down at 2,900, 4,900. None of that. It doesn't care about any of this. I just have a slight advantage here, an ever so slight advantage, and I dealt 10 times the amount of kills with beasts as opposed to troops. So that is why it is fundamentally the most important thing you can do as garrison. Either A, you have an advantage and you take advantage of it, or B, they have a strong beast and you're mitigating that free damage from happening to your beast. Worst case scenario, you have a strong beast, they have an equally strong beast, and you just nullify it so you're not taking a bunch of free damage. That's the worst case scenario. Best case scenario, you have a beast advantage over them and you just demolish them, regardless of what your equipment looks like. I'm a whale in Karis. Also, if you don't have a physical beast, RIP your tower. Exactly. You were either doing it to mitigate yourself from being demolished, or you have an advantage and you're taking huge advantage of it. That's what I tell people. You're either making sure that you don't get destroyed by the difference, or you're best case scenario using it to demolish them. Sometimes some of these reports allow me to see into these combat logs, and I would love to see if I can catch one of them. I mean, it's the same thing here. Okay, so here's one. Here's an example, right? Here's another maxed account, and there is a huge beast gap because he has OCs here, but he has normal golds here, right? He has max garages. Dude, look at this. He's running red damage reduction. This guy is a mega whale, okay? All white parts. This guy is massive. We traded 1 for 2, and all the damage is coming from beast damage. So if we go into the combat log, let's find somewhere where it's a 6-second increment. 24 seconds. All right? 24 seconds. I dealt... let's do a basic. Counterattack. 2,275 damage. 2,275 from a counter. 2,300 from a basic. Put that together, we're talking 4,600 troops. All right, so 4,600 kills from basic and counterattack. Remember that, 4,600. We already did half of that on one counterattack. 41,614 troops were killed from the beast leader skill. 41,000 just from the beast leader skill. Another 7,000 from an active skill, another 6,000 from a combo. So 6,200, 13,500, 53,000, 54,000, 54,000 troops. 57,000 troops total. 57,000 troops killed in 1 second with beasts, as opposed to 4,500, 4,600 with basic and counterattack. It's insane the difference. It is insane the difference that it makes. It is not even remotely close. And this is not a small account. This was Apex. We were playing in Apex, OMSB, NWAF, LL67. This was when we were playing in Apex AR, last AR. The total trade comes out like this because beasts are just absolutely demolishing. These are maxed accounts. I'm not playing against G37 players or anything like that at all. These are real combat reports against real top of the line players in top brackets. So if that performance can happen here, you can replicate the same thing in lower brackets against easier opponents. Tenfold. In the biohazard event for chips, if you don't pick a specific type and roll, do you have a chance to get any type, and is that worth it? Or should I target a beast type? I would personally target a beast type. It does give you any beast type if you don't pick a specific element. Yes, you're absolutely correct on that. But you do want to funnel it into one beast type. You getting one beast from tier 1 to tier 7 is going to do a lot more for you than getting 2 or 3 beasts to tier 2 or tier 3. I would do the funneling. Just work on one march at a time. Work on one march's performance at a time. Get it to a certain threshold. Like I would say, like get one beast pair to tier 7 in both, then work on your next beast pair. Get those to tier 7. That's a good place to be. I recommend tier 7 because that is the point in which your gold beast, their leader skill, out damages or outperforms a maxed purple. A starred purple's leader skill damage is at tier 7 for gold. So that's what I'd recommend you get it to. Sorry, give me one sec. I got a text message. Sorry about that. I'm gonna raise my desk really quick. Give me one moment and take off my headset. I have one of those sit-stand desks. Give me 1 second. I've been sitting a lot today because I had to go get my an oil change and all that stuff in my car, and then I came home and just worked on my Streamlab elements and all that stuff. So I've been sitting a while. I kind of want to stand up. There we go. Z is the only player who wins with strategy in a strategy game. Rest are money. Yeah, I mean, I help players at all levels, right? Like, I love helping maxed accounts, and I help maxed accounts all the time. I'll help players at all ends of the table, but at the end of the day, this is a strategy game. Any game that has components in it, attributes, skill sets, those types of things, just like an MMO, just like an RPG, will have strategies that you can follow, mathematics. Everything is math, right? In this game, it's all math. That's all it is. And if you can figure the math out on things, if you can understand the cohesion and how certain skills work together or work against each other, that kind of a thing, you can capitalize on it, you can take advantage of it, and use it to your advantage. I upgraded Bull crit legendary chips to full and Pango counter chips at 3-star. Also a Pluto level 6 and purple combo encounter as well. And got level 1 OC crit elements. I mean, Pango with counter chips is good. Crit chips on Bull is totally fine as well. Especially if you're flexing Rally and Garrison. Look at the nerd doing math that works. Yep, I embrace the fact that I do like numbers, I like math, I am a nerd. And again, it works very well with what I do professionally because I am an analyst by nature and by trade. And so to take what I do as a full-time job and bring it to this game, it makes it to where I can find a balance between really the nerdiness of it and kind of the enjoyment aspect. It feels like I'm doing work, but like in something that I actually enjoy. No worries at all, Sylvia. Good account, by the way. Really good foundation. So considering the same, what is the best chips combo for using the star level advantage? Pango Bull or Pango Pluto? If you have legendary chips to full, I would probably be running Pango and Bull because you get a lot of base stats out of the gold chips. The thing about that is that because you're in Garrison or Rally, the third skill on your leader beast, in this case your Pango, gives up to 400% bonus on your attack or defense stats, and that's going to influence the damage that you deal with crit, counter combo, all those things a lot more than actually having 10% or 20% more combo or crit or whatever have you from the purple chips or the additional skills that you would get from your Pluto. Once you have your Pluto to at least 3-star gold with their chips, then I would make the swap. But those high base raw stats that you have in attack and defense and HP and all those things that you're getting from your full gold or legendary chip set, your crit chip set on your Bull, I would just keep those because then those are multiplied by 400% in Garrison. And that is going to outperform when it comes to how much damage you deal in your leader skill, your active skill, your counter, all that stuff. Gotta ban. Oops. Get rid of that one. First alley at 158 dice will be a lucky event. Oh, good luck. In this situation, since beasts are so important, do you think DS is the better cost-benefit event? I think just as a whole, it's a good event, right? Because regardless of beast being the most influential part for a garrison or rally, again, you don't want to just solely invest in that, right? It's one of those things where you can't just build one part of your account and neglect the others. Yes, beasts are highly influential. Yes, if you don't build it, you will get punished. But in the same conversation, if you don't build out the other parts of your account, you'll just get equally punished as well. So I would just be finding the areas that you can build the other parts to your account economically and taking, getting the most bang for your buck, which is DS, right? You're going to get your superb armament pieces, you're going to get your garage components, you're going to get the parts that actually matter and influence your account. And then for your beasts, you can do target spending on that. I would definitely do a hybrid mix of both. But it doesn't matter whether it's beasts or the rest of your account, armaments, whatever. I would just, anywhere that you can spend on a budget, spend within your budget and get the most for your budget, I would be doing it regardless of what it is for your account. But confused with chips combo. I mean, you said that you have the counter chips at 3-star and you have the crit chips to full. I would probably just be running the crit chips on support with the full, and then the counter chips on your main. You know what? No, I would be running the crit chips on your Pango, so then they're not reduced by 70%. And then I would just be taking the counter on your support beast. And the reason for that is that Pango gets a lot of counter already as a lead. So as lead, he gets 70 counter from his lead skill. He gets another 60 counter from his active skill. And he gets another, where is it down here? 50 counter when garrison. So he gets 50, 110, 180 total counter just for being the lead beast in a garrison. So I would put the counter chips on your bull, run that as support, and put the full crit chips on Pango as your lead. If I was going to make multiple OC sets, would it be smart to get a 3 or 4-star before I go to a new set, or just finish the first set? I would get to a minimum of 3 stars. That's where you get a huge spike in terms of your activation rate. So for water at 3-star, it starts proccing on corrosion. For fire, it starts proccing on detonate. And for grass, it starts proccing on shields. So I would at least get to that first. And then consider moving on to another set. That way, you maximize the chances to get OC stacks. OC chips are OP. They're great. They're great investments if you can afford them. But they're great because of the stacks, right? So when you fully stack an OC chip set, so water, for example, right, it stacks up to 12 stacks of the OC stack. So it stacks up to 12 times here. And you can see that... Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong beast. Stacks up to 12 times. For fire, it's 15, and for grass, it's 20, but all of them equal the same. So you'll get leader skill damage of 90%, you'll get combo damage on water of 60%, crit damage on fire of 60%, counter damage on grass of 60% as well. And all those things also influence the 6-piece, where it goes up another 90% or whatever have you. What is it? Is it 6.5 times 12? That's 75%, isn't it? That's, what is that? 6.5 times 12. 78%. Active skill damage plus the 65. I was throwing myself off here. You get a high active skill percentage amount. It's 134% total, or 133% total active skill damage that you get at max stacks with those OC stacks. So the most important factor for OCs isn't the OP stats, it's how quickly you can build those OC stacks and then maintain them. As long as you can get an OC proc every 6 seconds, you'll maintain the stacks that you have. But the minute that you go 6 seconds without getting an OC stack, it resets. So if you have OC chips and are able to stack OCs, but you can't keep those OC stacks up, your OC set isn't doing that much for you. So I would get at least to the 3-star threshold. 4-star is preferred, 3-star minimum. Because at 4-piece at... How do I search into this? Oh, sorry, I was in the right place. So at 3-star, you're getting 60% chance on combo, 20% corrosion. You go 50% higher on the corrosion chips proc chance from 20% to 30%, and then you go up another 15% on the combo, the crit, the counter proc rate there as well. So that's a huge bump to go from 3-star to 4-star, but 3-star minimum for sure. DS gives so many other stuff. Yeah, just the fact that you're going around the board so much gives you so much free stuff. Resources, speed ups, garage. Doesn't really matter what it is. In your opinion, which hero next, or which hero should I transcend next? I would do Sakura. If you're talking about Awaken next, I would do Julian for sure. Julian is vital, key, huge for infantry. After that, I'd probably go Isabella, but depends on how strong. No, you don't even have an armament set on her. Yeah, I would go Julian 100%. That way you can start moving towards a Bodala Julian or a Isabella Julian. Like you can flex. Julian is very necessary. You already have Claude. It's not ideal because he doesn't have the hero talent tree, but you could even run a Julian Claude. But I would go Julian. You want to get those debuffs up, especially if you're early starting out. Hey, bro, is there any chance you could take a look at my account and see what I can improve and chance upon as a full free-to-play player? Yeah, just send me an arena report. No worries at all. No problem at all. How many? We're 978. We're almost at 1,000. We're getting there. Yep. Happy to help. Couple reminders, guys. Of course, if you are here and just tuning into the stream, please don't forget to hit the like button underneath the stream. It helps me out a ton, a lot more than you guys can think of. It's very quick on your end, costs you guys nothing to do at all. I don't ask you to pay, join anything, donate anything like that at all. I just like to do these things where I'm helping you guys, and it does help the algorithm to get this video out to others. For example, yesterday, I think that by the end of the stream, 50 of you had liked the stream or liked the live, and by the time I woke up this morning, it was already closer to 80, so it's getting a lot of impressions, and it's getting out there. And if you guys have questions, other players have questions in the community, right? So I do this, I go live and stuff to try to create a resource or a centralized location that other players like yourself can come to get help that they need with the game, because there's nowhere else in the game to actually get it. There's no Wikipedia page. The AI doesn't give you good information. The chat support team is a third-party team that has no affiliation to the game whatsoever. So anything that we can do to try to help new and old players alike, it is greatly appreciated. Who's your current favorite hero in the field, in the rally, and in garrison? In field, Aaron for sure. Aaron is the most flexible hero that you can run, and actually Isabella and Aaron is the strongest field pair that you can run, regardless of what troop type you are. It just works extremely well, and their damage output is extremely high. But Aaron is super flexible. I like the heroes that are flexible, that don't have troop restrictions that you can use anywhere. I think that those are the best investments to make, because then it doesn't matter if today I'm playing infantry and a year from now I'm playing rider or ranged. It's a hero that can flex at that point. Rally wise, I mean, I'm infantry, I'm biased, so I like Sakura. But I mean, I know that Ethan's just a well-rounded hero. He does well in field, he does rally, he does well in garrisons. Garrison wise, I'm envious of ranged. I wish that I had a Nova and Ethan set up for infantry, like, or an equivalent. So I'm hoping that with this new infantry garrison hero, we have something like that. But garrison wise, I think that, yeah, Nova and Ethan do really well. Boyd is obviously the best on the infantry side that we have. I'd say Chasey is probably the best for riders. Yeah, rally-wise, I'm biased to Sakura, but Ethan does well flexing into any piece. And I think Metox Kit is actually pretty unique and pretty cool for the rider side, where it like tallies up the damage and then it like echoes it. I think that's a pretty cool mechanic and kind of unique. But yeah, then field-wise, Aaron for performance, Claude for just all-around debuffs. Claude is in every account, strongest to weakest. Doesn't matter what it is. So those universal heroes are awesome. Who is the best to pair with Sophie in the field? If you want damage, then somebody AoE, like Ethan is a core solid one, or a solid core one. Nova's good. Louis good. Like, Louis the economic choice to Ethan or Nova. If you need a debuff March to, like, make your other... So, like, say you have, like, an Ethan Louis in another March, or an Ethan Nova, that kind of thing. Sophie and Sharon does really good, because Sharon also has an HP cut, so it becomes a really rapid, high rate of rage skill going off with Sophie, but then it's just highly maintained, or high uptime debuffs between Sophie's debuff and Sharon's debuff. So, it just depends on what you need as an account. Debuffs, Sophie, Sharon. Damage, Sophie, Nova, Ethan, or Louis. Also a bit of heal on Metalk. True. I don't know why in my head I read T's first. I just almost just like T-Talk, that one. Callum, by the way, thank you. Oh, this is you, Callum. Okay. Never spent any money and don't plan on it. Yeah, no problem at all. There's no issues with that. Armament-wise, you have a range ranging from 4.4 mil or 4.5 mil to 800k, so I wouldn't be sending anything out below this Bodala set, and even that's kind of questionable. I'd probably only be sending out the 4 mil March if it was me, but yeah, what I would do is I would get Julian Awakened ASAP, put Bodala Julian for that second March, and run Eileen and Miyamoto, and just run those 2 Marches only. If you only run Eileen Miyamoto, that's totally fine. I wouldn't be sending anything out below this March, this 2.7, 2.8 mil March here. Reason for that is that it doesn't matter how well this March performs. These other ones will die so fast that the resources and the speed ups you have to spend to maintain healing those and keep your hospital cleared, the kills here will never be worth it. You'll never outperform the poor performances of your other marches. So I would do 1 or 2 marches max. If you're doing 2 marches, I would be running a Bodala Julian, so I would get Julian done ASAP. Take a huge pause on the backpack parts. You don't need them. You're running nothing but infantry marches. Get your infantry parts to white first, and then go back to backpack. The backpack is expensive not because it is the most standoutish, flashiest, best influence skills. It is just simply because it influences all its troop types. It influences riders, ranged, and infantry alike, and you're only running infantry, so we don't need that. We need to instead just focus on infantry. Let's see. You said that you don't spend any money, so I'm not even going to worry about refinery as long as you are getting the best pieces that you craft into here, which it looks like you are. Defense, damage reduction, that's great. Double defense, that's great. You are at the mercy of the roulette and the, chance-based system, so no issues there. Here I would take a pause on these 9/9s. I would get these to tier 3 level 1, tier 3 level 1. That's going to give you a huge boost in your firepower and protection for minimal spend. In terms of resources, I would do those first. Then I would get these to 12/12. So I'm going to go over here, right? You're going to go tier 3 level 1, tier 3 level 1, level 12, level 12, and then all these to level 6, right? After you've done that, message me again, and we'll take a look at those again as well and see what you need to do next. Beast-wise, you're a free-to-play player. You're at the mercy of what the game gives you. Fragments-wise, all that kind of stuff. So as long as you're keeping like crit together, combo, that kind of a thing, there isn't too much else to say on that. Is it best to pair beasts together by elements and give them both the same main chips, like 2 fire beast crit chips only, or mix them? Honestly, it depends on your budget and your spend and like what kind of chips that you're getting. For 95% of players, yes, just go crit, combo, capitalize on it by giving it the highest proc rate possible for your support beast by having a high crit chance, and then when they do crit, a high crit damage percentage or a high combo percentage and a high combo damage percentage, that kind of a thing. Just maximize on that. It's just the default easiest thing to do. Is it the most damage output, that kind of a thing? No, but in order to get into that best damage, most optimized kind of mindset, it comes with a budget or a spend required, or a lengthy period of time. And for, again, 95% of players, it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. Using Sakura Miyamoto, Eileen Claude, Bodala Julian, Sophie Louis, Boyd Eddie. What should I change? I would probably swap Eileen and Bodala, and have Eileen and Julian as a damage March, and then Bodala Claude as no damage but raw debuff March. Because right now what it is that Eileen is dealing damage, Claude isn't, and Bodala is not dealing damage but Julian is. So it's kind of an hybrid there. So I would just put the strongest armaments of those two onto Eileen and run Eileen Julian, so you actually get damage out of that debuff march, and have the weaker armaments on Bodala Claw to just have that as just raw debuff. Dang, I was running Sophie Ethan, but every time I test Sophie Julia trades better. Could it be something I'm doing wrong? Not necessarily. It's, well, for one, if you don't have certain skills transcended on Ethan, he doesn't perform nearly as well. And two, a lot of Ethan's performance comes from him, well, for one, being transcended, but two, it ramps up from him being in large groups of people, because what happens is that with his rage skill, as he hits multiple people with his rage skill, he generates his gunfire stacks, and the faster he generates his gunfire stacks, the faster he procs his second AoE skill, and that's where a huge part of his damage comes from. So in large group battles, Sophie and Ethan will perform really well, because you'll just be machine gunning his AoE. But in like small field battles, in the, you know, occasional couple of marches, that kind of a thing, your Julia is going to perform better because it's just raw, consistent damage output, silence, that kind of a thing, and it's not dependent on being in large groups of heroes. How did you think of AR? I faced you and lost, if I remember. How did you think of AR? This last AR, we were in Apex. And we were with, who was it, Goat? And it was great until Towers started. And then as soon as Towers started, like, all strategy went out the window. I don't really know what happened with that, to be honest with you. If it wasn't the Apex one and it was the Elite one, I'm trying to remember. Did we go Apex this last AR, or did we? I can't remember. No, we didn't. We did, no, yeah, we didn't. I mean, it doesn't, I don't even remember what happened in that AR. We just, I mean, we won. But I don't remember much other than that. Oh, that's right. It was like Azure just sat at their checkpoint with like a 7 mil or like a top 50 armament set, range set, on the new range set. And then Gold had the same thing. They just had a top 50 player with his new ranged armament set sitting on the checkpoint. So there wasn't anything to it. We were just, it was just us trying to hit a garrison on an armament set that no other troop type has. So we're already playing at a huge disadvantage, and you're playing from a checkpoint. It was kind of lame, honestly. But I don't blame you at the same time. You guys didn't have a bunch of garrison hero or a bunch of garrison players. You guys just, both teams had one garrison player to play around. So it makes the most sense to just sit at a checkpoint where you don't have a threat of being multiple towers touching or that kind of a thing. It's, you have to break the checkpoint. It makes sense why you did it. It's just from our perspective, there wasn't much that we could do once you were at the checkpoint. We were going to automatically win at that point. It's no contest if you're not going to build out. But then we can't really move you from the checkpoint because you have an insanely strong garrison with the new range set and no other troop type has it. So it's like, what do you do? I don't know. It was kind of lame, but again, I understand why you did it, and I would have done it the same way. So I switch between Boyd, Isabella, and Bodala Julian. You could run Boyd, Isabella, as long as you have the second skill of Boyd transcended and the first two skills of Isabella, or no, yeah, as long as you just have at least the second skill of Boyd transcended, then Boyd Isabella does really well. Yes, it's a very high single target damage burst march. No worries at all, Gabriel. Appreciate you being here, brother. Have a good one. I'm working on the leader armaments to flex Isabella Boyd. Yeah, no, it's a great thing to do. I love Isabella. It was totally worth building her set out. Is there a suitable partner for Sakura besides Stella for invasions? Like for rallies? I run Sakura Jin. I rarely ever run Stella. But no, I mean, on infantry, we really don't have any other rally pairs. You're going to have to wait till the new infantry rally hero at the end of the year. No, everybody from your legion wanted to ally us, and we turned it down and went with Crimson. Because on paper, you guys were the stronger legion, but you guys were also far less active than Crimson was, as it turned out to be. We allied Crimson because, again, on paper, it looked like Crimson was the weaker ally, or the weaker ally of Azure or Crimson. So we went with the weaker one to score more points, and then it ended up being that Azure was just highly inactive compared to Crimson. Crimson had great activity, actually. And so, yeah, I think we made the wrong call on that one. I probably would have rather allied Azure and fought the active Crimson, but, you know, it is what it is. There's nothing you can do. But yeah, rally pairs for Sakura. I mean, you're limited, right? You got Sakura, Stella. If you're on a flank rally, like if you're a second or third rally on a tower, not the main tank rally, or if you're counter rallying somebody, I wouldn't use Stella. I'd run like Sakura Miyamoto. In that case, no reason to use Stella because you're not being targeted. You can use Stella if your rally is being swarmed a ton, but other than that, you don't really need Stella. Yeah, our rallies are basically just farm alliances. Yeah, I know. You're at the mercy of the matchmaking system, right? No, I don't blame you guys at all. Like, you either have alliances in your legion or in your faction that are fighters, or you don't. And you really can't tell who is who until at least gold scavs, right? Or even gold scavs is kind of hard to tell day one. You really can't tell until like day 2 gold scavs, or especially chainsaw. Chainsaw is a good representation of how the rest of the event's going to go. Best infantry lineups. Sakura, first and second skill transcended. Boyd, second skill transcended. Those are important. You want to have Isabella in the mix somewhere. You want to have Aaron in the mix somewhere. Well, Aaron's expensive, right? Isabella's expensive as well. Julian is key. Claude is key. Miyamoto's key. Eileen is key. So you could do something like a Boyd Sakura, where Sakura has a bunch of damage from her weapon. Boyd has skill damage from his second skill transcended. They're an insanely high damage pair and high sustain with his shields and then bolt damage. And then you can run something like a Miyamoto Julian for HP cut. So if they target Miyamoto, he has the HP on counter or HP cut on counterattack, and then Julian has the HP cut on his rage skill. And then you would run something like a Bodala Julian for a raw debuff march, and then you can flex like an Eileen plus, you know, whatever else you have at that point. But those would be the 3 core ones. Bodala Claude debuff, Miyamoto Julian debuff and damage, and then Boyd and Sakura, that's just your main damage output. If you have them, Isabella makes that 5 march amazing. Aaron makes that 5 march amazing. Sakura Aaron is actually the highest damage output infantry hero pair to date. So if you can do that, if you can warrant it, awesome. If not, then yeah, you kind of have to go with what you can get. This infantry TC I'm going to win and get Sakura up. Well, good luck to you. And yeah, you'll definitely enable a lot of your marches if you can do that for sure. 4% skill damage for Blaze. Sabretooth first skill. Does it apply to troops or to the beast himself? Since I don't see any skill damage in a beast. Yes, so the parts here at the beginning of the beast on the leader portion, when deployed, squad skill damage, and if you click on it, it says increases the skill damage bonus attributed of the squad bringing along this biomechanical beast. So yes, from Blaze, it does apply to the troop march itself, the heroes there. Yeah, I use gold and purple cat together with gold having gold crit chips and purple has purple combo. Should I run double crit instead or completely different pairing of beast field only? I mean, both of them are crit beasts. I think there's enough crit there to where if you have a gold chip set on your main beast, you could get away with the combo on the secondary. No problem with that at all. But most players, when they're running like that, they have like double purple, so that's why it's good to just run crit. But if you can warrant gold chips into your budget or into your lineup, then yeah, you can flex a combo purple chip set on your support, because the gold chip set for crit will give more than enough crit. It'll give as much crit as the 2 purple sets. So, do you know when the new infantry hero is coming? Any info on that? It's coming on July 27th, but no information on who it is or what they're bringing to the table. We won't have that until probably 2 or 3 weeks before. So I imagine at the end of the month we'll get an update or a patch notice, and then we'll see what it is after that. How old is your account? I think mine is older and about 10 times weaker. I started 1,354 days ago in Region 23. So I started, I think it was like October of 2022. I guess next infantry TC new hero is coming. Hope they bring infantry event hero as well. Yeah, we should have a collab infantry hero probably sometime around August, if not September. I would guess August, probably end of August would be my guess, but you never really know with these guys, right? So Time to catch my beauty sleep. Have a nice streamsy. Thank you, Bag Up. Appreciate you being here, my man. Have a good night. I will talk to you soon. I need to get those, oh, sheesh. I need to send those resources to you. Shit. Hold on. I have all of them pulled up here. Let me just launch LD. I have LD player pulled up. Let me log into them. Does Aaron need to be awakened to team up with soccer on the field? Aaron awakened is ideal. I'm not really a fan of using heroes in the field unless they're awakened, period. Unless they are strictly debuff heroes like Bodala, which you can get away with like a 5-5-1-5 kind of thing. But in terms of like damage, I wouldn't be using damage heroes unless they're awakened. No need to. Well, I'm going to be bouncing between this computer and my other one. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to get my other computer going with all my farms on it. I imagine another collaboration right after this one. Yeah, I imagine shortly after the infantry TC. I imagine that we have to get through two instances of the new infantry TC before that. So I would imagine that end of August, maybe early September, we have the collaboration. Just older, I started in Region 16 with Jessica and Jazzy and Duff. So we actually started in 23 and then we transferred to Region 7 where Duff was. Siren used to be my R5. I used to help her co-run Duff. And then we left Region 7 and we went to Region 6, joined Mini Boon, which turned into MOB. Familiar with Duff. Actually, I'm still in the Duff chat. Hold, please. Yeah, Duff friends. See? Duff. Yep. Very familiar with Duff. July 1st for the next collaboration. Is it really? Oh, sheesh. Free 1k gems for converting game language to Russian. All credits to Destructive. Oh, that's kind of cool. There you go. If you want a free 1,000 diamonds, why not? There you go. Yeah, after Duff, I went to ANCA and then H&B for a while. Yeah, I remember Jessica and Jazzy actually. I'm in the H&B Discord. I'm familiar with them as well. As a ranged main, should I upgrade my equipment parts equally, or it's better to focus HP or attack part first? So attack is the most important, but HP is the most rare. So I would go HP first on any troop type and then go into attack next for range. So HP, attack, and then defense last. ANCA was madness when everybody fell out and the region went to pot. Yeah, I remember the days of when H&B, Boone, ANCS, Doom. What were some of the other big ones? Fox One. I'm trying to remember what were some of the other top caliber teams at the time. This was before ROK, DHX, and those ones. OXO. Yeah, OXO came a lot later though. Like this was like 3.5 years ago. How to save Ryder Garrison from swarming? Can we try Daryl and Garrison? No, absolutely not. The best thing that you can do is just build defensive homes. Chasey already has high skill damage reduction, but it's the basic attacks that really just beat the shit out of Ryder Garrisons. And you only counter that with basic attack damage reduction from like your refinery or HP, defense, block, those types of things. It's honestly the only thing that you can do. Other than that, you just have to swarm the swarms. Yeah, ANCS. Yeah, I'm talking about like Master Pickle and shit, who else was in there? Master Pickle was just my favorite. That guy used to be so funny. He used to clown on Panda so much. That guy was hilarious. Yeah. I remember them. I remember ANCS very well. We used to play against ANCS a lot. I loved when Hans was around. He was so nice and always helped me. Shame he left. Yeah, I know. I used to help him build out a lot of players in H&B. Shortly before he quit, probably for like the 3 or 6 months or so prior to him quitting the game, he asked me to come to H&B and be like his right-hand man, R4 for H&B. I was really considering it, but I had friends in my alliance and still do that I've played with since the beginning, so it was going to be hard to consider that, and we didn't want to go back to being just like a G1 team. We'd already left that scene, so it just ended up not working out. But yeah, I remember that not this tournament, but the one before it, he didn't go, but if he had gone, he had asked me to go so he could give me an H&B Z jersey. He had made one or he was going to make one for me, so I liked him a lot. He was really, really cool. Master Pickle was so funny and strong, and then he left and randomly I was so sad. Yeah, he gave his account to that one free-to-play player. He used to pop into my stream from time to time, even recently, and just chitter chatter. So yeah, he's really cool. He's really, really funny. He was a troll, but he was so funny. Whew. All right, guys. I honestly might close this one out. It's almost 6 o'clock. I went and got brunch with the little one at 11 a.m., but I know that she's been asking for some other food, so it's probably that time for me to go and get that going. I feel like back then the game had nicer people and was way more fun. I don't really enjoy it anymore. That's honestly the consensus of a lot of us longtime players. The game got way too complex for no reasons at all. It added just way too many unnecessary things just so they could have you spend more. And while yes, there is enjoyment in that for the people that have been around for a long time, a lot of the enjoyment that we had was the simplicity of the game. I mean, you determined a whale based on how many troops they had and if they had all white parts. Anything more than that now, it's just overwhelming. So I totally get where that comes from, and I would agree as well. I think that them adding all these extra layers like the beast chips, the collab armaments, the refinery, all these, it was just very unnecessary, and it just widens the gap between a starting out player and a top end player, and how much and how long it takes to get there. So I'm not a firm believer that more complexity and more layers means more fun. I think that in a lot of cases, less complex parts and more simplicity, while giving more flexibility for someone to build out their account without having so many gotcha pieces, is more enjoyable. But I mean, it's also why they created the game and I didn't, right? I'm not the one with the multi-million-dollar company that make one. So what is my opinion? you know But anyways, yes, I'm going to go on ahead. I'm going to cut out of here. I'm going to go make dinner for the little one and stuff. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me for the last couple of hours and doing this. I know that AR is coming up soon, so we'll do AR bracket reviews and that kind of a thing in a couple of days. Probably do another one of these streams tomorrow or Sunday. Not sure which one yet. I'm not too sure what my days look like tomorrow or the next day in terms of plans and stuff. But it is extremely hot out here where I live and just unbearable to go outside. So that's kind of why I have some extra free time. But anyways, I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the stream. Please don't forget to hit the like button down below on this video. I know it's not a lot to ask for, but it does influence it a lot. We're kind of starting this office hours series where it's just nothing but raw information and players asking questions and stuff, and YouTube is doing a great job of getting it out there and putting it in the algorithm to help new players. I can see the search terms and that kind of things that it's recommending to those people that are searching some of the terminologies, and your guys' likes and stuffs are definitely influencing that and driving traffic. We can even see it in just yesterday's stream where it was our first episode of this. So appreciate you guys doing that. I will check you guys soon. You guys have a wonderful night, wonderful day, wherever you guys are at, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out, everyone.